side?
On the other side.
What is going on, everybody?
Woo!
The pack is back together.
In person. We're in the Playhouse, baby.
We are at JD Studios live and in color at Kansas City because we've been attending Panic Fest this weekend, which is our second time checking that out, at least for me and Mel. I think, Justin, how many times have you been?
I think I went last year without you guys, but
But yeah, guys, we are here to just kind of chat with you guys, hang out, talk about Panic Fest, some of the cool stuff that we checked out that we think you guys have to keep your eyes and ears open for. Because if you guys don't know, Panic Film Fest is a place where these companies directors bring a lot of their new movies, horror movies, sci-fi, and they're looking kind of at distribution. So we see a lot of movies like really early. So it's going to be cool to kind of talk about some that we actually thought were really, really good because there's some good ones that we got to check out. Was it yesterday, today?
yeah,
Friday.
yesterday.
And all these days are kind of getting mixed together. But let's see who is in the house first before we start our conversation.
And also, like we're only using one mic, so maybe we'll try to keep it center. Let me know if you guys can hear me and Mel talk, and if you can't hear us,
Hello.
if you can't hear us, we
Can
can
you
kind
hear
of
me?
we can bounce this microphone around, but we're kind of doing what we can with what we got.
Yeah, let us know how we all sound. Is it too hot? Can you not hear one of us? Let us know. Ryan McCormick in the house, new member. Thank you, dude, so much for being a member of the pack. Appreciate that. Speaking of that, Jay, do you want to go downstairs and no, it's okay.
What do you need?
No, I was gonna showcase those posters here that we're gonna do for some giveaways for you guys. So if you guys are
I'll go
members
grab
of the channel,
Where are they at?
they should be right down on the record player, I think, down there. But yeah, so we will have to see the new posters that Mel designed.
Oh.
And we're going to do some stuff with them. Obviously, giveaways. We're going to sign some stuff. And being members of the channel, you guys are going to get first dibs at some of these if you're interested. So, Brian, thank you again for joining the pack. Dynamite Tiger, what's going on, man? Love this rad crew. Excited to see things. Things are going good, man. Things are going well. We've had a good time. I mean, I wish we could do more of this, but it's like we've been on the go. We're almost done the weekend. And I feel like we've done a lot, but I feel like there's still so much more to do. So definitely thank you, Mike, for being here. Oh, Justin's got the new prints. If you guys didn't see them, I posted them quick on a stream the other day, but
I haven't even seen them.
oh, you haven't seen them live?
They look great.
Look at this. How sick is this?
Yeah, Mel did amazing on those. That
Oh,
looks
I
great.
know.
So we got some back to Justin's posters that we're going to sign up. And then again, like I said, we're going to have different giveaways for you guys. We're going to try to do some stuff for the people who are members of the channel. So yeah, definitely. If you're interested in one of those bad boys, definitely let us know in the comments section below. We'll try to get some out to you. Who we got here? Hey, Dub, what's up? RadPack rides again, 100%.
That's right.
Sydney Jenkins, basketball is over for the day. And heck yeah, it's a little early, but we will have some stuff we have to get done tonight. So we want to try to get this on. What do we got here? Mighty Vlog, it's about to get rad. Thank you, man, for being here. The Ring, what's going on? Thank you, man. Who's running late this time? I think it was kind of a all of us kind of thing.
It was a chair situation,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
it was good.
Justin's on a big stool right now.
I'm on. Actually, it's to be more accurate, it's 2 milk crates that I'm sitting on. So for once in my life, I get to be the tall guy in the group.
Sydney Jenkins, these are all same place, so probably all exactly it was all of us. Sorry, I'm having trouble seeing the chat up here, so I'm just clicking everything I see.
Let's give KB a shout out. He hosted us this morning for breakfast. So
Thanks,
shout out
KB.
KB. I think he's out watching movies now, but that was really nice of him to. KB loves movies. Check his channel out. He hosted us this morning. So that was nice. Today's been really a chill day. We decided we weren't really going to go to the physical festival because there's a virtual aspect where you can stream a lot of these from home. So today's kind of our chill day.
Yeah, and 100%. Big shout out to KB. We hung with him yesterday. He had us over for breakfast this morning at his pad. Shout out to other people we hung out with this week. We had lunch with Daniel over at Cobweb's channel and Figure It Out Films. So we hung out with them as well. I saw Ryan from Disconnected. We saw him this weekend too. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I'm missing, but always cool seeing familiar faces in the community. So very, very cool to hang with those guys. So big shout out to all of them. Let me see. Did we make it to Jack in the Box? So I appreciate that that you watched the content, man, and you knew that. So we did make it to Jack in the Box late last night. I went for the taco game. I got 10 tacos. I've got 6 left right now. So
if there's any, I think you should leave fans here. The 55 burgers, 55 prize. It was that for Garrett. He wanted 10 tacos. He wanted a burger. He wanted this. He wanted that. But I think I'd only been to Jack in the Box one time. It was pretty good. But
the tacos are bomb, dude.
Yeah, the tacos are pretty good. That was fun. That was our late night. Munchies run.
What up, Faze?
This weekend has just been basically food, movies.
Yeah, and we prepped pretty hard for the weekend too. So we were ready. Camp Flashback in the house. What's up? This was the no room. When we were here 2 years ago, this was a no room. We weren't allowed to see this room, walk into this room.
Yeah.
This was like padlocked up. So what this was before a studio, I'm not actually sure, but it looks great.
If anybody has ever seen like an episode of Hoarders, this was basically Justin's bad room was just a pile of shit of just nonsense, hoarder nonsense. So you guys got to see it at its worst, and now it looks a little bit better now, doesn't it?
It's great.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, let's see. Magic Hands, what's up, man? Liana, what's going on,
What's
kid?
up, bro?
Hollow Notes in the house. What's up, man? Oh, Big Cody.
Hey, dude.
Says, don't forget to roundhouse kick the like button. Remember Cody from Dude Who Loves Movies, also one half of the Rad Dudes. Go check out Cody. House of the G Fam, what's up? Yeah, we just got done skiing, me and Mel. If you guys don't know, this was the jacket that Justin had on last time, and I said, when I get to your house, that's all mine. So as you can see, I made sure that happened. This thing is sick.
Geckoed out, baby.
Let me see. All right, perfect. I'm way behind. All right, let me see. I'm going to try to start to scroll so we can talk a little bit about this Panic Fest.
What's up, bestie?
Look at this, dude. Wet Movie 1, dude. What is going on? Heck yeah, man. We can get one of those for you, dude. Justin is sitting on a milk crate.
That's right.
All right, hold on. I've got the mouse on my lap here, so let me see what I get. Wow, look at this.
Oh, if this makes this easier. Here. That help?
I don't know.
It's meant to be like that.
Brian Trash. What's up, Adrian? Yeah, it's awesome that we're back together. It's been 2 years since we've seen each other, so this is really, really cool.
And we're gonna dive into we have watched a lot of movies. They came down Friday, so we've been here for 3 days. We watched a lot of movies in person Friday and Saturday. Like I said, today's chill. But we saw some cool people. We saw a bunch of movies. We're going to be diving into some of the highlights that we've seen. When you go to a film festival, you're watching so many movies. So some of them may be hit or miss, but you find those hidden gems, and that's what you're always like in search of, those hidden gems. I think we found a couple.
Oh, for sure. We'll run down exactly.
Yeah, we're going to go through all the shit.
But Big Irvy, man, bro, with the 1999 super chat, thank you. Yeah, it's Justin's place is rad, man. Like he really does. It really is like Pee-wee's Playhouse over here for sure. But I'm going to tell you, he really worked hard last time we came to like really make sure that his place was set up nice. You built the shelves and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think his place looks better now because now where we were recording last time is all wide open space down there now. And now he's got this studio. So I think it really even looks better. So yeah, big props. Let me see. Adam the Movie Hunter, what's going on? We are having a blast, and it's awesome hanging with you guys. Let's sit back and chill and relax and talk a little bit about Panic Fest. We got here. What were you trying to? You're lucky I put pants on.
Just
pal.
fixing the frame a little bit. Yeah,
right.
I guess you just
And
So yeah, we got here Friday, and we hit up Panic Fest Friday night, but we also have access to watch the movies virtually from the house, which also helps a lot because again, we came in, we were exhausted. So the first thing we did was we chilled back and we watched a movie called Tie Dye here at Justin's house as part of Panic Fest, but we did it on his couch.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about Tie Dye.
Well, I want to know,
Justin.
can you guys hear me when I talk away from the mic like this? Can I just get some confirmation that you can actually hear us? Because we can move the mic around, I guess, if we need to, but yeah, was that the first movie we watched? What?
Yeah, I think because it was here
before
I think
we went to the
before
fest.
we went to the fest.
Yeah, so they came in the afternoon, and that was the first movie we watched. Was a movie called Tie Dye. I mean, we got to be honest about some of these movies we saw. We were excited about this one because when you go on the website, some are available and some aren't. So you kind of really have to choose based on not much because these movies are so new. They don't have distribution. There's not a lot of trailers or information. So you kind of just dive in. We were interested in watching Tie Dye because it starred
Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah, Joe Bob Briggs and Lloyd Kaufman. And we didn't really care a whole lot for Tie Dye. It was like less than micro budget. It was like a no budget. I don't even know what it was trying to be. I don't want to spoil it. Like a bear attack movie.
I'm trying to even think now, like what it was. Yeah, it's kind of like it was supposed to be like an animal attacks movie, but it kind of a slasher. But just really the quality was really poor. I do think if this does see the light of day on physical media, it'll probably maybe something Trauma picks up,
right? Because
it does kind of feel, along those lines of the type of movie that it would be. But
yeah,
I don't think any of us right.
No, it was
I guess technically the loose story was you have like a national park that's led by Lloyd Kaufman, and you have a group of hippies that come in town for like a concert or something, and a bear starts killing people. But the bear ends up being a little questionable once you see what's actually happening. So it was a little silly. It was kind of I don't know. What would you guys give it on a Letterboxd rating? I think I would give it about a fucking half a star.
I wouldn't give it nothing.
Yeah.
No
stars?
No stars.
Yeah.
That was been brutal.
We can't do. I don't think Tie Dye gets a Rad Pack stamp of approval.
It's not a rad recommendation, that's for
No.
sure. But I mean, I don't know if I'd give it 0 stars. But
Who would watch it? If you are a diehard person that has to watch everything that has a cameo from Joe Bob Briggs or Lloyd Kaufman, that would be about it. Like,
I'm literally surprised we didn't turn it off.
yeah, it was a struggle to get through a little bit.
I think we were just so tired. It was like we didn't want to really move.
Right. So was that the only virtual one we watched before we went to the fest?
It was, yeah. And I just want to give a shout out here. Here's Daniel. What's up, man? So we got lunch with Daniel. We hung out with him, watched some movies with him yesterday. So it was awesome to hang out with him and Chris yesterday. That was really, really cool, man. I'm so happy that you made it home safely. So again, thank you, dude. Go check out the Cobwebs channel here on the Tube Ski. So yeah, so then Friday we went to the theater and we saw, I think the first movie we saw was It Feeds, I think. Was that the first one I think we checked out? Yeah, because we got in there, it was already just starting. Remember, we were rushing in.
Mm-hmm. We missed like 8 minutes of that.
Yeah, so It Feeds is another one that's coming out. Now, I think we had a little bit of a different opinion on it. I liked it. I just feel like it wasn't anything that I've never seen before. I feel like there was a lot to it that I really liked, but then I felt like they really tried to change the movie a little bit, and it kind of didn't lose me, but it just got confusing. And I just felt with a lot of these movies that we saw this weekend, as they were good, I just feel like everything felt long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
they weren't that long. Like these weren't 3-hour movies, but there was just parts in it where I feel like it could have been a little tighter. And that's kind of what I felt about that. But I thought that It Feeds was actually pretty good. I think it was done very well. It didn't feel low budget at all.
No, the production value and everything
was good.
Yeah, the production was good and the makeup was good. Everything about the production of the movie was good. And this is from a director called Chad Archibald. He was a producer of a movie called Vicious Fun, which I really did like. He also did I'll Take Your Dead, and he did
Right.
And he did Bite too. So that was the only movie that I had seen that he's done. Bite is a really, really gross, gnarly body horror movie that's great. This is more along the lines of an Insidious, Conjuring, Blumhouse movie, but like literally, if you've seen those movies, you've kind of seen everything that would happen in here. A lot of jump scares, black face monsters hanging out in the background, just your standard, just boilerplate horror movie. Nothing really stood out. It's like directly down the middle.
Yeah, it did feel very Insidious. Like it felt like he had seen it. It felt, even if you guys have seen Little Bites, which is a movie that came out.
Yeah, that's kind of what we thought right away in the beginning.
Yeah.
We were like, this kind of seems familiar.
Well, like it's a movie where you have a psychiatrist or a clairvoyant psychologist who, there's a girl who comes into her house and supposedly there's some sort of entity attached to her that only the clairvoyant person can see. So they have to get this demon entity off of her. It's like just stuff we've seen a whole bunch. But some, if you're into the ghosty stuff, maybe you'll like it.
Yeah. Well, I think we made that call really early on, but then there's kind of a twist a little bit in the middle where the movie kind of jogs a different way, so it kind of gets a little better towards the end a little bit, I think. So it kind of saves itself a little bit.
There's some good visuals, like when they go into those other kind of the upside down type of world inside of the mind and stuff, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. So I thought it got better throughout.
I think I liked it more than they did.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is interesting because I feel like usually the roles are reversed when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I thought it was good. I thought it was because like Justin said, you never know what you're going to get in a lot of these.
Sorry about that. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat.
It's a movie I would recommend people checking out, though. It was good enough for recommendation.
For sure. And I'm sure this is one that's probably going to get distribution, I'm thinking.
I wouldn't recommend anybody check out Tie Dye.
No, I couldn't give that a recommendation. But I thought It Feeds was good. Again, I think it really just feels like stuff we've seen before. But all in all, I was happy with that being the first movie we checked out at this event, because last year the first movie we checked out, I think this was a lot better than
Walking Against the Rain.
Yeah. Oh, you're still hyping on that.
Still
You want that
hyping.
out, don't you? Want me to send someone something and say, can you put this out?
Anchor Bay.
Yeah, you want me to?
Send it to Anchor Bay.
Okay. So that was It Feeds. Now we saw that on Friday night. And then did we go right to a movie? I think we did. We didn't get dinner or anything, did we? I think we saw.
No.
What was the second one?
We'll go through the tickets here. Tickets.
There was another one.
These are all. I don't have my tickets for my.
We saw It Feeds first, and then we saw. Oh my God!
I'm gonna have to go to the schedule because my tickets are gone.
Oh my God! What did we see on
I'm
Friday night?
Forgetting too. We had Tie Dye, Play Dead, Spirit, Psych, Self Driver, Cover. Is that all we had to have seen another one?
No, we definitely did.
In theater.
We definitely did.
How the hell do we not remember what it was?
Oh no! It wasn't that. No, it wasn't that. I was going to say it was Freaky Tale. That was yesterday.
Cat Out?
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
That's right.
All right. So the second one that we saw on Friday was a movie called Don't Let the Cat Out, which I loved it.
I did too.
I mean, it was all right.
I'm shocked. I'm surprised you weren't like in love with this.
I don't know. It was just a little too weird for me, I think. And
it was
not
very
in
weird.
Like the good weird way. In like the weird way.
This one is one that as soon as they, were done, I was like, okay, this one's gonna get distribution for sure. It was like it was just enough horror weirdness with comedic elements that I like. Like it wasn't too over the top with that. I felt like it kind of walked the line
but
that I
it
like.
was like less horror and more like weirdness though.
Yeah. So basically, it was about a kid who was hired by this rich couple, and the woman in the movie was Serena Vincent, who you guys know from things like Cabin Fever and Not on the Teen Movie. And they hired this kid who he thought was just going to be there to watch the house. So he was going to house sit for these rich folk. And come to find out, there's a little more to it. So it's a story that I think we've seen before, usually like with things like House of the Devil and stuff, where it's not always what it seems, kind of thing. And come to find out, there's a list, and they said, "Oh, just follow the list; everything will be fine." And the list really has to do with their cat, and it said, if you hear a bell, don't go find the cat. It's just letting you know it's in the house. Don't call its name. Make sure you leave food for it. Like there's all these specific rules on how to take care of this cat. Don't leave the windows open. All this other stuff. And then like kind of things just start to happen where something just doesn't seem right with this situation. And I don't want to spoil it. I mean, you guys can talk a little bit more about certain things about it, but it gets interesting, and there's a big kind of wraparound story of what they're doing here at this house and why they hired this kid to take care of this cat. And I thought it was interesting.
Think of everything that he just said, but then also think about the movie Tusk.
Yeah, I mean that's really good. Yeah,
I mean,
because it's not exactly like that, but it kind of gives you an idea of that how fucking weird it gets and why they specifically had this guy. He wasn't just there to watch their house, you know. They had other things in mind for this guy, and it devolves into a crazy. I don't know if I'd call it body horror because it's not really
body horror,
but it's furry horror. Kind of.
If you're a furry fan, needless to say, he starts doing the things on the list that he's not supposed to do, and shit hits the fan. So, I mean, it's a well-made movie, and it was entertaining. It just wasn't for me.
As with most of the movies that we kept going back to, the premises are really great and the movies are cooking.
It's a unique story.
Yeah. They just run a little long. A lot of these movies that are an hour 30, hour and 40 could probably be chopped down a little bit and flow a little tighter because it gets a little laggy in that third act.
Because I think the problem is a lot of these movies, they don't know how to wrap them up.
Right.
They have a really good story. They have a good start and they have a good middle. They don't know how to wrap them up. So they just go on forever in like a circle, you know?
Mm-hmm. And the directors and stuff were there and some of the actors, and they were talking a little bit about the making of the movie afterwards. And they did mention that there's already a sequel in talks for this movie.
He said the sequel's coming because something does happen that keeps it kind of open.
Yeah. So which is cool. And I guess to guarantee that happens is to make sure that we check it out. So, you know, we're here kind of here to give you our, 2 cents and to say, yeah, definitely support some of these when they come out, because that's the only way that we're maybe going to get a sequel or maybe get physical media copies of these movies. And I think out of everything I watched this weekend, this is probably top 3 for me, personally. So
and also just to mention a lot of these movies that we're talking about, we saw them this weekend. Most everybody else probably won't see or hear anything about these for, maybe up to a year. That's kind of how it was last time.
I mean, you look at Abruptio. Abruptio was one that we saw 2 years ago. And that movie just got, exposed to the rest of the world, like literally like 6 months ago.
And they could even be retweaking with the edits on these too, maybe.
That we didn't even really notice.
Right.
Yeah. So
that could be true.
Yeah. So it's super cool to go in and kind of see these movies that are coming out. And yeah, I thought Don't Let the Cat Out was good. And like I said, as soon as we saw it, I reached out to Anchor Bay, who I'm pretty close with, and said, look into this movie because this one I can see maybe being a cult classic in the future, because it is just, as much as he said like Tusk, it is a very unique movie. And I thought it was fun. So that was Friday night.
Well, let me mention this too, because there's one movie that they didn't get to see that was probably one of the bigger movies from the festival.
Oh, yeah, because you went early. Right?
Yeah, because I went opening night, which was Thursday, and there's a movie called One Hell of a Summer, which is Finn Wolfhard's directorial writer debut from, he's one of the kids from Stranger Things, and this was a camp slasher. There was a couple camp slashers this year, but I got to say, Mel and Garrett didn't see this one. I would highly recommend seeing One Hell of a Summer. I believe it comes out next week. This is a really fun, unique camp slasher that kind of has it kind of does a long setup where you get to know the campers and you're just hanging out with the campers for like 45 minutes. A lot of great comedy, and then it flips to a slasher towards the end. But I gotta say, it was a pretty unique voice from Finn Wolfhard. I would think just because he probably got the opportunity just because he's the famous kid from Stranger Things, but I think he really showed that he has potential to do something different. So that comes out next week. One Hell of a Summer. I definitely wanted to shout that one out.
So is that going to be in most theaters?
That's a wide release movie that's going to be coming out next Thursday, Friday.
Okay, which is also something else to talk about. Is there's actually a lot of cool movies at this festival that unfortunately her and I are not going to be able to see, because these are movies that are taking place like during the week. So because we don't live here, we don't really get to see these, which is surprising because I feel like last time we were here, they saved all the big heavy hitters for the opening weekend.
Yeah.
Where he already saw this one, which, like he said, was a big one that they promoted, One Hell of a Summer. So it's a bummer that we missed that one. And then later this weekend, there's things like Clown in the Cornfield, which is one that we all are really excited for,
That's
but
a closing night.
unfortunately is not going to be playing until like we're already gone. So there are a lot of cool movies that are still coming. The new Cronenberg movie, like Shrouds, it's called, or is that Shroods? The Shrouds.
I think, yeah.
That's another one I really would have liked to check out as well, but that's another one that's playing later. Same with another movie called The Ugly Stepsister. Like, there's still so many more movies that he might be able to talk to you guys about on a stream or something like that. That her and I aren't going to probably be able to check out for at least until they're released.
I'll be watching movies. It runs through Thursday, so I'll be seeing movies all next week. So I'm sure I'll talk about them in some capacity somewhere.
And that was Friday, but it wasn't necessarily done because we then came home and it was late, but we were like, let's throw on something else and just probably just fall asleep or whatever like that before we head out or whatever. And we ended up checking out a movie straight on till morning.
Straight on till morning.
Yeah, which again, it was just something we threw on. He dozed off a little bit on this one, but I thought it was a cool movie as well. It's very kind of a little bit Texas Chainsaw Massacre style. Yeah, but with a little bit of a different backstory. But I thought it was a pretty fun movie. So if you guys see that one kind of come around either on streaming or physical media, it's definitely one to check out. It had a really cool concept, very tense. I felt like there was parts that, I was kind of at the edge of my seat, like, okay, how are they going to get out of this? Because it just felt like every time you thought they were going to escape or something like that, like something happened and they got brought back in. And, but I thought it was a cool movie.
Yeah, it was very suspenseful and thrilling, and it had you on the edge of your seat the entire time. But it was also another one of those movies that kind of felt long to me. Did it feel long to you?
It did feel a little bit long, yeah. That was another one that I felt like dragged a little bit. And then when you look at like the runtime, it wasn't even that long of a film.
It really wasn't, but the gore was there. There was a lot of gore in it.
I know, definitely. So I think that is one that you guys should definitely check out. So it's so weird because we technically saw like 4 movies on Friday.
Yeah.
So we really kind of hammered those things out with like 2 hours sleep or whatever like that. So, so that was Friday. But then what happened? We paid for it because then on Saturday, I was exhausted because like I was running on 2 hours sleep the night before, running on caffeine, going 4 movies deep. And then the next day is when we had a full day of stuff going on. And that's when we met up with like Daniel and all this other stuff. And I'm trying to think, did we check out a movie before we headed out there that morning? No, I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
So we got back to Panic Fest on Saturday, and the first movie we saw was a movie called The Descendant. And I'm going to let them kind of talk to you about this one because I dozed off within like 15 minutes. I slept through pretty much the whole movie in the theater. So I'll let them kind of talk to you about this one because I can't say anything about it really.
So it's basically just it was an alien abduction movie, and this guy and his pregnant wife. It starts off that way, and he gets abducted, and it was his story about his abduction, pretty much. I mean, I don't really want to give anything away about it.
Well, it started out like it was going to be kind of. We were looking at each other during the movie, me and Mel, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is kind of like." It reminded me of Fire in the Sky.
It had some of those technical details.
Right. Yeah, because it starts out with just this couple, and this guy's distracted from, he's helping his wife through pregnancy, but he's got his own things going on and his own worries. They're not really at odds, but like, did you get a sense that maybe they had like a little bit of a troubled marriage or something? I don't know, maybe a little bit, but she's very, yeah. And then, so he goes on the roof to do something, and there's an alien abduction thing, but they don't overtly explain everything to you. You kind of just get like flashes of stuff. So, but there is an amazing sequence where they do show you some sort of an abduction. And then it's kind of what happens after that because his brain is all twisted up. He doesn't know if they like implanted something in his brain or if he's going crazy. He really doesn't know what's going on. And as an audience member, you kind of don't know really what's going on too. But they did a really nice job carrying the story through until they kind of throw a little bit of a curveball at the end that I'm not sure how I feel about it. But it is if you're into like psychological horror with like a little bit of alien abduction sprinkle on top, I think those type of fans would really like. But it is very slow burn. and it's kind of a drama as much as it is like a horror, you know.
I like the slow burn of it. It has a vibe to it. It has an ambiance to it. The curveball at the end, I hated. It ruined. The
I didn't
movie
talk
for
to
me.
I didn't talk to a lot of people who liked what they did at the end.
This was another one of those movies I feel like they didn't know how to wrap it up. They had
Yeah.
a really great story. They told it really well. The production value was great. The acting was great. And then they got to the end and they messed it up.
Yeah.
I feel like. But the movie was good and I recommend watching it.
That is one that I would definitely recommend. The Descendant.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out sometime.
Even though you were in the theater.
I was there.
Even though he was like
Garrett was asleep, I think within 5 minutes he was fully out.
Was I really that loud? Was I a little?
You're heavy breathing.
I'm
You're
a mouth
You're
breather
a
for
mouth
100%.
breather.
And that movie's kind of hard to
I
describe
was
because
like,
it is
should
very
we be
weird.
spraying water in there just to keep him dry or wet or moist or something?
But I will say this was probably some of the best acting and like the
main guy did a really great job.
he was really
There
really
was
good.
some practical effects in there that were really great.
I just
right
realized
were the eyes practical? They looked practical.
they did. I don't know how they did it, but everybody had these
They
weird
looked
deer
messed
eyes.
up.
Yeah. I also just realized where the girl was from, and I
Wait,
think
the wife?
was she in Incident in a Ghostland?
I never seen it.
Or no, she played a babysitter in a movie. I'll have to figure it out. You might recognize one of the. I think she's a Scottish. I think they were Scottish or Irish actors. But anyway, it was a good movie. The
I
Descendant.
recognized the
recommend
dude from something. I couldn't figure
He looked
out
like
what
Jeff
from.
from Films at Home.
it. Yeah,
He did. He looked just like him.
No, he did not.
These movies finalized. I think they're done. Now, do they go back and change anything? Like, for instance, could they, this movie, The Descendant, if all of a sudden they're like, wow, everybody kind of bashing on the ending, could they go back now and change it? I don't know.
I think they can. These are festival movies, and one of the directors specifically said that the music in these movies are festival licensed, but not distribution licensed. So the music will change for that particular movie that he was talking about. So I don't think that they are.
So maybe if everybody loved this movie and everybody kind of had the problem with the ending, maybe they can go back and be like, all right, let's reshoot something really quick, because it seems like that's the issue that everybody's having. Possibility for sure. Like he said, there could have been movies that we saw, like Abruptio and Bury the Bride, that they changed something that we just don't remember because it was so long since we had seen those movies. So definitely could have, for sure. What up, Beyond the Grave? We are together, second time ever together on a pod. So this is great. Nubbins in the house. What's up, man? We'll talk a little about that. We just talked about a movie called Straight On Till Morning, which, again, we felt like had a little bit of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe. So I think out of any that we're going to talk about or we talked about so far, I think that might be one of the ones that you would really dig for sure.
We haven't really seen it. There hasn't really been any like all out straight up gore fests, really.
Straight On Till Morning is probably the goriest one we've talked about so far.
Oh yeah, and I haven't seen the finale, so I missed all the good shit.
Yeah, and that was the Descent on Saturday. So then we went out, we did some stuff there. I mean, I was funny because there's pictures throughout the day people are sending me, and I did a picture with like Daniel, and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, man, I look beat, dude. Like I look tired that day. Like in that picture, I've got like a can of caffeine. I think we had just left, and I was like, I gotta get caffeine if I'm gonna last for the rest of the night here. So you can tell in the pictures, I felt like I looked exhausted. But yeah, so then we got back and it was a great night afterwards. Like, I mean, I think that these next two movies that we saw was a real strong back-to-back finish on Saturday. And the first one that we saw, in my opinion, is probably my favorite of what we saw this weekend.
It's my favorite too.
And that is a movie called Freaky Tales, which is already got a license for distribution through Lionsgate. Now, what ends up happening with that, I don't know, but this was a pretty big event because they had people from like Lionsgate there. There was like security at this one, making sure people weren't taking pictures or video. So this was a real big one for them. And, like I said, there's already a studio that's going to probably do something with this movie. So they had a lot of like rules and stuff regarding, people with their phones out and stuff like that. But man, I loved this movie. This was like an anthology type movie, and it's one that I think we all can agree that if this thing gets out there, either through streaming, hopefully physical media, because who knows what these studios like Lionsgate, I don't know what they do with these movies anymore. Hopefully they look and say, oh my God, this could be a cult hit. Let's put it out on a, 4K Steelbook or whatever, something different like that. I hope to see it. And that's a movie called Freaky Tales, which, guys, I don't know if you want to get into, but it had a pretty good cast.
Fans of Too Short. This is like, if you're a big fan of Too Short, this is the movie you've been waiting for. A random movie centered around.
Takes place in what?
1987.
Yeah, in Oakland, California.
Which, again, this movie starts out in 1987. You get the vibe of that. Then all of a sudden they start panning down to a movie theater. And everybody's walking out of The Lost Boys. And right then and there, as soon as I saw that on the marquee, and everybody's like, they're coming out. People are singing like "I Still Believe." Like they just got done seeing Lost Boys for the first time. Yeah, and its original run in 1987 in California. I looked at her and I'm like, all right, I'm in right now. So I mean, that was awesome to see that little nod to the Lost Boys at the beginning of this movie right away, and then it really got into this anthology story. And I see like Foz Ron in here, who I think is going to really love this, because the first story that they tell, I really felt, I was really invested in it because it has to do with the punk scene versus like the skinhead Nazi scene in like the late 80s. And it showed a lot of like nightclub stuff. You had Operation Ivy playing live. And it's like, I really felt so invested in that, because as much as I wasn't old enough in the late 80s, but in the late 90s, I was very into scenes like that where, I saw this kind of stuff happen all the time. These different factions and groups like fighting with each other and watching these bands live in like these grungy little places. And I was really dialed into this story, and it has to kind of go through these punk kids wanting to finally stand up to this skinhead group that keeps, beating the shit out of them every time. And I loved it. This was gory too, though. This had a really like over the top Warriors vibe to it with some really cool gore. I mean, it's that kind of gore that's over the top gore, but it was fun as hell. And that's kind of the first story that they talk about. And then they get into a second story, which is talking a little more of like the hip hop side of Oakland in 1987. And
well, the story resets, and then it's the next group of people coming out of the theater. So they kind of interact them kind of Pulp Fiction style, because our first people, who are the punk people, we get their story, but right as they come out, the people from the first story have a small interaction with somebody behind them, and then they move on. But then once they come back, they reset, and you talk to the people who are also coming out, and they're in this hip hop group, and they get invited to do a rap battle with Too Short, who also does the intro of the movie, which is pretty good, kind of like a Star Wars style scroll. And it's Too Short, like, bam, back in 1987, shit was fucking crazy, man. But there's also this science fiction aspect with this green stone goo or something. I don't really remember it's like some kind of a glow that people are harnessing. So some people in the city, that part wasn't super fleshed out, but there was some sort of like a supernatural vibe to it. But then we have the rap battle story, and they're all kind of connected a little bit with Pedro Pascal's.
Like intertwining all of the stories. There's like 4 different stories. They intertwine them really well. It has a very like Scott Pilgrim-esque feel throughout the entire movie, but it's really well told. Like all the stories connect in some kind of way, but it's told really well. Oh God, that's scary.
It's just Pete. They also do all that cool animation. Well, they have like animated caricatures and like.
That's what I mean. It's very Scott Pilgrim-y in the way that they do some of the special effects.
Like when somebody gets whacked, there'll be like some line drawings of like lightning or whatever, boom or whatever.
Yeah, and then should we spoil the huge cameo in this or no?
I kind of want to, because it's super awesome, but I kind of don't. Because
maybe don't say what or where the cameo is, but maybe you can say
who the person is.
But don't say anything.
Okay, I don't know, because it was so great.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just say this. We won't tell you, but here's the deal. Like I said, this was awesome. Like this is a movie that I can see being a huge cult classic.
Yeah.
In the future. So keep your eyes and ears open for a movie called Freaky Tales. There was a huge cameo in this from an actor that if you would have told me to name you 20 actors that would do a cameo in this, this wouldn't even have been on my list. Probably not even
We're talking like
50.
A-list.
Yeah, where you're kind of like, how did they get this person in this movie? This weird movie. Like, how did this person agree to be in this? That's what's so crazy about it, because this person is only known for like these huge monster, big budget movies. So very, very cool. And like I said, there is 4 stories. Each one kind of deals with different things. You do get some stuff going back, and then there's one talking about the Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors back in '87, and there's like a wraparound story with that. So it's definitely one that I think everybody needs to check out, and you'll probably see most of us 3 at least, talk about this more like on our socials and stuff like that.
This is gonna be our Bury the Bride this year.
Yeah,
100%, for sure. And like I said, that was Freaky Tales, and then we capped off the theater experience last night back to back with Freaky Tales with another movie that I think is going to do really well in the future. And that's a movie called Marshmallow, which is another camp slasher movie, which I really appreciate camp slashers. There's something about those. You give me a camp slasher movie or a movie that takes place at summer camp, and I'm already interested with that. And I think that this one really did well with like the camp aspect of it. Like it really spends time with the camp and these kids. And we're talking kids, like it's not like Friday the 13th where these teenagers are being played by like 20-something-year-old people.
Mm-hmm.
This is like kids who are like supposed to be between 10 and like 12 years old, or 8 and 12 years old, with counselors that are supposed to be in their late teens and 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a different kind of vibe for a camp slasher to be dealing with like actual kids. And I thought this was really fun as well. It was different, and it was interesting to kind of see. And I thought to myself, do you think it was different enough as a slasher that they had to do things a certain way because they were dealing heavily with kids?
Maybe, yeah.
Like the way that they had to kind of, I don't want to say
it's
kill or whatever,
right.
but like it had to have been done a certain way where they could probably get away with it and
right.
it would still make sense. So this is basically like a, I don't know, PG-13 slasher probably.
I think it's R-rated, but you're not watching. It's hard to talk about it too much without spoiling like the twisty parts and that. But for people who don't want to see like kids we're not watching kids get chopped up the whole movie. It's a camp slasher that somehow doesn't slash kids, but some people do get killed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really weird movie because the twist is so crazy.
Yes. Yes, it had a real
cool
fun
villain
twist to
design
it.
too.
Yeah. So we posted a picture of one of like a kind of like a mock design of the killer. They call him, I guess, Marshmallow Man, which I don't really. Oh, the doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, the doctor.
The doctor. Yeah, that's what it was. My brother. The doctor. So yeah, keep your eyes open for Marshmallow. I think that's another one that's going to easily be distributed. There's going to be distribution behind it. Where it's going to end up, I'm not sure, but yeah, that was a fun one for sure. And really quick, I just want to give a shout out to Jeff. Down is up. Jeff in the house. Wow, all in one place. Thank you, man. Yeah, appreciate the super chat, dude, for sure. Yeah, we are all here at Justin's pad. Look at this JD Studios behind us. Thing is nice, man. He worked hard on this thing. So yeah, that kind of wrapped up the theater experience on Saturday, but we weren't kind of done yet. What up, Pure Hangout? Yeah, thanks, dude. Tabata Vision in the house.
What's up, Brendan?
Oh, you did?
For showing up naked.
Did you tell? You should have told them you knew the Rad Pack. They might have let you in, maybe. So thank you for being here, dude.
That man's always naked.
He's always naked.
Always naked. Eli, what's up? Crazy seeing that an A-list actor. Yeah, it's, if you know, it is nuts. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And he has a really, really cool part too, by the way. So it's fun. But yeah, so we ended up coming back to Justin's and watching one more movie. I passed out again. Was I dry again? You're like pouring water.
He doesn't snore, but it's a very audible breath.
He's a loud breather.
Yeah, he's a loud mouth breather.
He always has his mouth open.
We didn't want to wake him up because he's so fucking tired. Sleepiest dude ever. But we did
Sleepy G.
But in your defense, though, it was a late night. It was after a long day, and it was a slow moving found footage movie. I would say that the movie that we did watch,
it was a very slow burn found footage movie, but it had some really, really creepy scenes in it that saved the movie.
Yeah. Because me and Mel were watching it.
What happened to Dorothy?
Yeah, what happened to Dorothy Bell? We were kind of watching it like, this is pretty interesting. The actor, the performances are pretty good, but we were kind of like not hooked. And then there's this
hating on it
a little bit. Yeah.
Like one scene happened and we were like,
and then it clicked.
What?
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's one of the creepier ways of doing a found footage scare that I hadn't quite seen done just like that before.
Yeah.
We're just looking at this image genuinely freaked me the fuck out.
It freaked my shit.
Yeah. It was out of nowhere.
Staring at this thing and we're like, what's happening?
Like,
is
kind of like,
something gonna happen?
No, like, hold on, I don't like this. And then it was
And
just,
then we were like, no, I don't want to look at this anymore.
yeah.
I don't want to look at it anymore. And then it kind of like blurred out or whatever. And we were like, okay. And then like something happened. And then it came back and we were like, what?
Yeah.
What?
It's hard to find those moments in movies these days because we watch so much where you're genuinely creeped out without just gore or like crazy violence. And this is one of these moments where just a simple found footage static shot did something. Found footage is one of the only genres that can kind of do those type of specific scares like that. It was really good. For fans of Host, if you like the movie Host.
I didn't do anything like this, but it was just in a similar format.
Right. I can't think of another movie I would really compare it to found footage wise.
Yeah. The promotional material for this was great too, because it was like a stack of photographs that were like
Polaroids almost.
Yeah, ripped up and stuff. Those were really
like
cool.
Host mixed with what was the M. Night Shyamalan movie? The Visit. A little bit of Visit vibes, maybe just because it's a creepy old lady. But it's good. It was a good movie. I definitely recommend it. What Happened to Dorothy Bell? Creepy little found footage movie.
Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. I
ended up
love
being
found
a
footage,
surprise.
but they scare the shit out of me for real.
Yeah.
Like, so I want to check this one out.
Oh, Lisa Wilcox is in it. She's like the star.
Oh,
So she's in that. Yeah.
that's cool. So
Yeah, you should watch it.
any Elm Street fans definitely want to check that out for sure.
And she's good. That moment kind of involves her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weekend at Justin's, baby. I just saw it. Sorry, guys. The chat is very far away from me, so I can't really see everybody's coming in. I saw somebody else. Oh, John Doe. What's up, dude?
Whoop, whoop.
It is awesome. I mean, it doesn't happen a lot. It's been 2 years in the making. Hopefully, maybe next year it's not another 2 years.
Yeah.
We could try to make it maybe every year. That was the goal. That's the goal.
I was just on the phone here. I noticed, there's a bunch of concerts that are coming in town. Warrant was just in town Friday night. And you know who I just got a message who's in town tonight? Killswitch Engage.
No way.
They're playing Midland Theater 5 minutes from here in about an hour.
No.
So it looks like we're going to Killswitch Engage tonight.
Oh, what the?
Garrett's like, oh shit. Fuck movie night, dude. We're going to go to fucking Killswitch Engage.
The plan sadly was this sicko over here was going to make me watch Faces of Death tonight. That was the plan. So maybe Killswitch Engage takes precedence. I don't know yet. But that is pretty sick. Because we were walking by today because we did some stuff today. We got to KB's this morning. We met up with Justin's sister for lunch, and we were walking by this place, and it said Warrant was there last night. I'm like, what? That would have been such a killer end to the day, but we missed it. So, I know that's the thing. Justin if he asks us to go down there, then we're kind of stuck
Locked
here.
in.
For sure. Let me see. Oh, Mel? She's definitely Axl Rose. She's definitely Axl.
Oh yeah, you do have some Axl vibes that now.
You know where the fuck you are.
Somebody always says that when I do my hair like this. Every time.
Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels, yeah.
That's funny. I love it. But yeah, I mean, that was it, right? We didn't watch anything today yet, did we? No?
No.
I don't think so.
No, we've just been chilling. Pizza and wings. Pizza for the second or third time.
So many wings.
Yeah, we had a lot of wings. We've had a lot of wings.
Went to Hooters.
You've had wings Friday, Saturday, and today.
Me?
Well, Garrett has because he had them Friday.
Did I have Friday?
And then we had we had it.
Oh, I didn't eat any of
Hooters,
those. Yeah, we've been eating a lot
Papa
of wings.
John's,
A lot
So
of
many
wings.
wings.
Wings and movies. I mean,
wings and movies.
food and movies, basically. But yeah, so we're gonna probably definitely check out something tonight. Maybe it's Kill Switch, maybe it's Faces of Death, maybe it's another virtual movie from Panic Fest. But that's why we wanted to get on there early, so we had more stuff to kind of do tonight. Because sadly, the weekend is coming to an end. So, guys, I would say before we leave, and thank you everybody who's been checking this out live and on the replay for sure. What were your top 3 so far that you saw? And I know Justin saw a movie that we didn't. I would probably say Freaky Tales is my favorite so far. I would probably say Marshmallow is number 2, and then I don't know. And then Don't Let the Cat Out. I think that and Marshmallow for me are probably pretty neck and neck. So I'd probably have to say those 3 are the ones that I would say keep your eyes open for, personally. Now I know you saw that other one, Wolfheart. Do you think that would make your top list?
Yeah,
right
that's making a tough. That's making a tough 3. It would picking between Marshmallow and One Hell of a Summer is difficult, but definitely so far it's Don't Let the Cat Out, Freaky Tales, and then the 2 camp slashers, Marshmallow and One Hell of a Summer. So definitely those are my highlights for sure. Freaky Tales is probably my number 1.
Freaky Tales is my number 1 too.
Yeah, Freaky Tales, and I really like that fucking cat movie. It was
I would
good.
go straight on until morning and
Yeah.
What Happened to Dorothy Bell in there too. Check those ones out too.
Yeah, so definitely keep your eyes open for those. Now, like I said, he's going to see more stuff, so maybe you'll get more content from him about some of these movies. I'm supposed to be doing interviews with some of these people that are involved in the movie, so either on this channel or on my channel, or maybe both. We're going to try to set some stuff up with some people that maybe were involved in some of the ones that we talked about tonight that we really liked. So if you guys want to know a little bit more about some of these movies that we had talked about, and maybe what is the deal with distribution with these movies that we're going to chat about, but I'm going to try to get some people on one of the shows or both to kind of talk about it. So, guys, I mean, we've been on for about almost an hour. We still have a lot to do. I don't want to necessarily say bye just yet, but anything else you want to add in here, Melsky?
Nope.
Justy?
Well, I mean, this Panic Fest is not just specific for cool kids like us. Anybody can come and get a pass. So this will be happening next year. So if you're into discovering new horror movies and you want to watch, I mean, if you wanted to, you could come on a Saturday and watch fucking 10 movies. Because we bought the pass. So once you have the pass, you can just walk in and pretty much see any movie. So for horror fans, it is pretty incredible. And not only can you watch just tons of movies for a full week, Serena Vincent was just walking around the bar. Last year, Barbara Crampton, Scott Taylor Compton, Joe Lynch hosts a mystery screening every year. And he was just walking around and he did the interview for a couple of the Q&As. So all that to say, come down to Kansas City, come to Panic Fest next year. It's growing every year, and it's a good way to see a lot of movies a year or two before any other horror fans will see these movies. And I think we're going to see some big ones. I think Freaky Tales is going to pop. Marshmallow is probably going to be something. They're really trying to push him as a new horror villain. They had a little trailer outside of the theater for photo ops with the doctor. So they're really trying to push that. So
they already said there's a figure coming out.
Yeah, they already have a figure.
Yeah.
So that movie is probably, I see those probably popping up. One Hell of a Summer, Marshmallow, Freaky Tales. You will definitely be seeing that. So again, if you want to see movies before they come out, come to Panic Fest.
I do think that cat movie's going to probably get over.
I hope so too. That has cult classic written all over it. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, guys, I want to thank everybody for checking this out and hanging with us. Again, we'd love to hang out here longer, but again, the vacation unfortunately is not over, so we can't necessarily do that. But find us on our channels. You can find Mel. Where can they find you, Mel? What are you doing over there? Didn't you just do like a video on like your?
No,
I
haven't done a video in a while.
No, but you did one recently about like your movie room. So go check Mel out over at My Killer Podcast. Did like a little movie room video recently. You can go check her out over there. You can find me at Born to Be Rad. I've got a video coming out. It should have already been out. It's my fault because I'm here. But I had Epic Film Guy on the channel, Justin, and we talk a retrospective on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 and Secret of the Ooze, and a little bit of Turtle Mania that was going on around the early 90s. So if you're a kid of the 90s and you were around for that, definitely want to keep your eyes open on my channel for that as well. And like I said, there's going to be a lot more Panic Fest content coming on my channel with hopefully maybe some interviews or something like that. And Justin, where the heck can they find you, man?
My most recent video is on my second channel, The Dead Couch, which is now Justin's Basement. It's been rebranded as Justin's Basement. I almost forgot. The most recent video is the top movie for each movie in the decade of the 80s. My brain is fried after this weekend. I can hardly think. And then on the main channel, I have something else cooking. I'll probably this week, after watching some more movies in the next few days, maybe do a couple reviews or another recap of my experience on Justin's Basement. So I know there's a Crispin Glover movie that I'm going to see. I'm going to see The Shrouds on Tuesday. I'm going to see Clown in a Cornfield. So I'll be talking about all these movies this week. I'll probably just wrap it into one video.
You should do like a ranking, like top 10 or
yeah,
top
maybe I'll
5
do
or
that.
something like that.
Maybe I'll do a top 10 Panic Fest movies or something.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably do that. That's actually probably what I'll do. So to expect that this week, I'll do a top 10 Panic Fest discoveries. Yeah. That's it. Thank you guys for helping me with my next video.
But gang, thank you all again for hanging with us. It's so cool to be able to do this with you guys together. I think that's really awesome, and I wish we could do it more. But this is the Rad Pack signing off, and like always, stay rad.
Stay weird.
Stay killer.